Are we?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it.
So we're on there twice, like, or is
Hmm.
interesting. Oh, okay. I guess they're.
There.
I
That
can
should
hear
fix
us.
it.
Yeah. Is that cool?
I hope so. Yeah. If anybody's watching, let us know if.
There's nobody watching. It's just us. It's just us drinking wine tonight.
I think that's my issue.
What?
I don't have any wine.
Yeah. You don't have a drink, it's you.
I need to go get a drink.
All right.
So I tell you what, you entertain people here.
Well, I don't.
All the
This
people.
is very strange. Very strange.
Here.
Go get a drink. Come back. Make a drink. He's gonna get himself a hard mic or something. Hard mics. I'm drinking wine.
There we go.
I am a wine drinker.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like it was. It looked like it was playing out there. So I think we're okay. I am curious though why we're not seeing anything on Twitch. So here, I'm gonna just verify that audio is working.
So audio is working on YouTube. I heard
Good.
it.
Yeah, it sounds good too.
I just don't know. I don't know about Twitch.
Yeah, I'll check out Twitch. I think I'm logged on my device here, so we'll make sure that everything's good. But you know what? Anyways, it's Saturday, and I'm thinking that we should go ahead and start talking about the Warrens.
Yeah, that's what the title of the.
Oh yeah, that's right. We are doing a thing.
What is the title? Ethics versus Entertainment, our paranormal chat about Ed and Lorraine Warren. So we started talking about this earlier, and we got into a pretty heated discussion about these two.
Yeah, where basically I was saying that I was right and that you weren't, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, Twitch is working. Twitch is sending a message.
Cool.
And so that is a thing. And yeah. So anyways, let's get into it. So who is Ed and Lorraine Warren? Who are these people?
Well, they are the progenitors for modern paranormal research. What are you drinking?
Jack Daniel's Black Jack Cola.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like a Jack and Coke.
In a bottle.
In a
Jack
bottle.
and
Yeah.
Coke in a bottle.
Yeah, it's for lazy people, which I definitely am one of them.
Actually, it'd probably be better just to drink Jack and Coke or
Yes. Yeah, but I didn't want to drive to the
liquor
store to go get a bottle of Jack Daniels. I prefer that though. I am a snob when it comes to drinks, but I like a good bottle of Jack Daniels as well.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't like Coca-Cola, but I like Jack Daniels.
Yeah, but when you put alcohol into something like that,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I think it's good anyways. But yeah, so they are the progenitors. Is that what I'm hearing of
Modern paranormal research. And so I was going to ask you this question earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How much is the Ed and Lorraine Warren estate worth?
Oh boy. Well, let's kind of go over what they have, which is they have the most of their money is going to come from the movies. I would imagine that all of the film rights over 13 movies, I think is what I heard, either 7 or 13, the Warren cinematic universe.
Yeah, the Warrens.
The Conjuring cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And then various books, because that's really where their money was just kind of books and movies. So I'd imagine with all of that, they're probably worth 200 million.
Oh, wow. You went crazy high.
I did. Because you kind of went, wow, when you read the number, so I was assuming it was crazy high.
97 million.
Oh, okay. I mean, I doubled it. It's not that much
Yeah.
more. I mean, once you get over like $3 million on your estate is worth, it's kind of all
I don't know.
gibberish numbers, anyways.
I was not expecting that number to be so high.
And a lot of the times too, those numbers are kind of like made up. It's like it's worth, not how much cash do you have in your bank account and stuff like that. So you think they're properties because I think they own the one office where like the museum is with Annabelle, and then you would get, you would talk about how much would that be worth if you sold it. I mean, just the stuff that's inside of that building is probably worth millions.
You think so?
Like how much would like you got to think like Annabelle is moved around like it's the like some sort of holy relic.
So if they sold off their collection, they probably would make a couple million off of that collection.
I would think
to
so.
Another paranormal group.
Yeah, I think about too like all their notes, all of their film footage, diaries, anything that they wrote, and it seems like they were pretty prolific. Having solved 100,000 cases.
100,000 cases
in their existence, and yeah.
970,000 million
900
cases they solved
a week. So we did
1,000,000,57 thousand cases that Ed and Lorraine Warren solved.
Yes. I wouldn't say solved. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They didn't solve them, but they studied them, or they dealt with.
So that would be interesting. Did they actually help anyone? Is there anyone that came forward and said, these people actually helped me?
I think during the time, yes. A few years after, no.
Because in the Conjuring cinematic universe, they're like, we're so glad you came. You saved us, and you fixed my water heater.
And you souped up my car that I had.
Yeah, you fixed my car.
I remember when we were watching the movies that you were talking about. They're like ghost superheroes, paranormal Avengers.
Yeah. They come in and help all the single ladies. All the single ladies. They're solving all their problems.
That's a good point. No, it was no. The devil made me do it. That was they were married. She had a man.
She had a man, but he was inept because he couldn't fix his own car.
Right, or the radio.
Yeah, so he had to step in and be the man to fix her shit.
And it was the guy that went crazy that was fixing the radio, and because remember it was their house that the guy that murdered his landlord, which they changed that in the story, in the movie, because it was just the guy that was also at the house that he
just some random guy.
Yeah, he lived there or something. I can't remember what he was in the movie.
I don't think they explained it in the movie. I think they just had that guy with the dogs and all the dogs. Which is so funny. Okay,
not ghost dogs.
Going back to the Conjuring cinematic universe. Yeah. Carl refused to see those movies with me. He doesn't really like those kind of movies. And I made him watch all of the Conjuring cinematic movies.
Made me watch, jeez.
Yeah. Recently. And they were good. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah. And I can't remember which one it was. I think it was actually The
Nun?
No,
the first, no. That was beautifully shot.
No, so where I was going to go with that is which one was actually scary.
Oh.
Because The Nun wasn't scary. It was so the first Nun, not scary, beautiful. Really beautiful. Like it was like the Joker, right? It was a really beautiful, well done movie that happened to be about a villain. Yeah. And this was the same way. Like the director and producer who did this were really good filmmakers that just happened to be doing
The Nun.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun because it was not jump scary. Like they didn't have a little, but not like, I think The Conjuring was the scary one. That was, or was it The Devil Made Me Do It? The one with the thing on top of the bookshelf, the armoire that had the hole where the kid was hiding after, No, that was The Conjuring, that's right, because that's where Bathsheba was.
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba.
Get your fake history right. Don't you know your fake history?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing about it, right? Is that every single one of these was just really not good. How's that? Like the stories, the history behind it, and the people that were in the area.
Oh, see, I think so. Getting back to our earlier conversation, this is where Ed and Lorraine shined in their storytelling.
So you think they did a good job with the history?
I do. I think they were able to do a really good job with their fake history and pulling up these stories out of nowhere and then
I'm talking
them.
about them getting the real history right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, they didn't care about that.
No.
They cared about good storytelling. They cared about
Agreed.
good content.
I don't.
Really what they cared
about. I don't disagree with that at all. I think though that they did a disservice to the people that truly existed during those time periods.
Oh yeah, which is so funny because and we have this conversation a lot too. 200 years from now, some ghost hunter is going to be like, and Nicole came and stabbed her husband. You know, they make up this.
Well, that's probably going to be true.
Right, right. So. They make up this whole story about you 200 years from now, and there's nothing you can do
because they Googled your name.
Yeah, exactly. They Googled and they found my name in some registry. They found these freaking YouTube videos. 200 years in the future, and who knows what the technology is 200 years from the future.
And you're obviously a witch, so.
And obviously I'm a witch, clearly, because right there. So my descendants, if we have any, are like, yeah, she was a witch. And then they start spreading these rumors about me being 200. And I'm not even alive. I can't even do anything about it.
Yeah. But what gets me is that's one thing, right? Like going to the Conjuring house and talking about John Morgan or whatever the other.
Some random dude, yeah.
Dude, yeah. So it's literally that these people didn't really exist in that house. Like Bathsheba was the name of the dog, I think, and there was a woman who was accused of being a witch during the witch trials in the area, but nowhere near the house, just in the area. And but later they were like, nope, we were wrong, you're not one. Never killed our children. No children were murdered in the house. No deaths in the house. The ghost dogs, whatever that's about, that could probably be the only thing that actually died at the house was dogs. So it's literally like they went, oh, we're going to take that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and put it together and come up with a story.
With a great story. Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I do not have a problem with this. But when people are cursing these people from the past, their names, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like 200 years from now, and who knows what the frickin' technology is from 200 years from now, or even 50 years from now.
You're gonna like reconstruct you digitally using DNA so you can talk, and then, you know, so that's gonna be the new ghost hunting.
The new content, yeah.
Yeah, the new ghost hunting thing, and then they're gonna be like, look, she said she killed her children. Yeah, because you can type it in and make her say anything you want to.
Yeah.
No. She really said it. Oh, my God.
This is real content. This is real content I found from 200 years ago. Watch this. This old couple talking about ghosts that they saw. You know, I mean, it could... Because the fact is, we're human, and even in 200 years, it doesn't matter what the fucking technology is. True. We're going to be the same. We're still going to have this curiosity about the afterlife. You're still going to have, still going to fake it. We're still going to have charlatans. We're still going to have people that are going to take advantage of other people and try and hoodwink you. I mean, that's just the way humanity is. So what is it going to be?
Well, great talk. So
Ed and Lorraine, but Ed and Lorraine kind of were the modern folks, were the ones that started the current paranormal, I don't know, genre. And I feel like a lot of the words that these people use to nowadays started with Ed Warren. I think Ed Warren made up these words like sploosh.
These nuts.
These nuts. Bruh.
Bra.
All Ed Warren.
Yeah.
He did it all.
Yeah, he did. He did. Well, and I think we can give credit due
Mm-hmm.
to
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
him starting the genre
Yeah.
for entertainment purposes. But when people start, they don't talk about him that way, though. I don't know. There's something about my mind that will not forgive people saying, like, he started this scientific movement. And we were watching these videos and he's talking about, like, look, you can see the telepathic energy using the electromagnetic field of the ghost. And this is what it's like, what? None of what you said makes any sense whatsoever. But since he said it, every ghost hunter since is using
Copying it.
Yeah.
Because it worked. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is
At the
Ed
time, yeah.
and works today. Ed captured something that using, and this is,
And he tied it into the satanic panic too.
yeah, and so they were the right people at the right time, right?
Yeah.
They happened to have that weird ass message about demons and Satan right around satanic panic, and so everyone kind of jumped on board and was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
He had the right message, the right time, and
he was good at
people ate it up,
advertising
and
and
he
the
was
marketing.
good at. He was a good bullshitter. He really was. He was excellent at it.
Yeah, I could see that. I can definitely see that. Because you look at, like you said, the stuff that's happened in the past, we still do it today. Nothing really has changed.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, and
You're
that is,
still gonna have teenage boys running around trying to get sucked off by a ghost.
or people that own haunted places.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I mean, it's humanity. Like, we do not change, and people think like, oh, it's different.
We're
like,
such
now-
evolved creatures.
and we're not. We are exactly the same as we were 100 years ago.
We're evolved in the way that we described it, how uninvolved we are.
We're evolved with technology.
Yeah, that. I think we make better technology, but I don't think we have evolved with that technology.
Oh no, we have
I
not.
think that's an important distinction too. Is that these ghost tools, they keep getting better.
Technical, like
Yes.
that's where Ed captured. He used all these scientific words to capture
Yeah.
something to prove that ghosts were real or demons were real. He was a demonologist. And,
Self-taught too. We have
Yeah.
to keep that very clear.
but he used these highfalutin word salad technical words,
Right.
and that's what these modern ghost hunters do too. They use technology, which gives them legitimacy
Exactly.
into what they're doing, but what they really are is they're just bullshitters. Most of them are. I mean, there might be a few that are legitimate, but at this point there's no way to know who's legitimate and who's not legitimate.
Well, you can pretty much figure it out. It's the ones that never catch any evidence whatsoever. Those are the legitimate ones. And I mean, there's something to be said too. There are enough things that happen in this world, because one is I've had way too many unusual things happen to me in my life.
Because I have never had anything unusual, and I'm the believer.
Well, as well, I was trying to say, you interrupted me.
Oh, go ahead. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Get Ed's name out of your mouth. Okay. So as a kid, I had tons of paranormal experiences. And so the stuff that I've seen and witnessed, now at the time, it was like a really crappy part of my life, that what I was going through. So was it stuff that was really happening, or was it, being in like what is it? Ooh, ghost.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. The fugue state where you're like, really not.
You said the puke state.
Yes. The Puget Sound state. The state where Puget Sound is. Where is that? Maine? Seriously, what is going on?
I don't know.
Because every time I talk about Puget Sound, the ghosts don't like the Northeast.
Okay, I gotta look it up.
It doesn't matter,
Where's-
but it's that state in between where you're like not really asleep and asleep, you know, and you're kind of coming in and out of that consciousness.
Yeah.
So, but my experiences was hearing my name all the time, like
Ugh.
in my house,
Wow.
and seeing shadow people in the house while I was awake.
And that didn't make you a believer?
Well, that's what I said. I'm not. I'm a skeptic, but that doesn't mean I don't believe. I disbelieve all the evidence that gets caught, because I think a majority of the stuff is only kind of captured in your own senses, and that you can't record, like the voice that's in my head that's saying my name and it's saying it like a whisper. When I was a child, well, that's not going to show up on an EVP or recording, you know? So where did that come from? I have no idea. Or the shadow people, you can only see it out of the corner of your eye. And each of the times that I saw the shadow people, it was a shadow. It was like a dark mass, basically. It looked like a person.
Yeah.
And it was always going into my dad's room.
Yeah. After your dad died or
No,
before?
like right as
he was dying.
Yeah, like 2 years, like 2 to 3 years before my dad died, I started seeing this stuff. Okay, so, and then you hear that and you're just like, oh, that's the harbinger of death. And like, no. We all knew my dad was dying. My dad was dying of cancer for like 9 years.
Yeah.
So this isn't something like my dad was fine. We were all fine. We were a happy family. And then all this stuff started happening. And then my dad died. Life was really shitty. And I'm watching my dad dying. And all of this stuff is occurring. So again, it's like, is it the stuff in your brain trying to make sense of things and everything else? Now, the figure that was 8 to 9 feet tall that was standing out in our front yard that had horns on his head, that was different. So that one, I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Wow. See, I've never seen anything, felt anything, heard anything, nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
But I'm also on the artistic spectrum too, so
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's your
I can't trust my brain.
neurodivergent brain. And Puget Sound is in Washington State. So you had totally the wrong part of.
Hey, do you remember when we first started dating and I said that I'm an expert in geography? No, it was the opposite.
Yes, I remember. You're like, I'm really good at geography.
I'm really good. I'm really good to know where all of my countries in the U.S. are.
Yep.
God, that triggered you, didn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
No.
Because you kept saying Maine. It's just.
It felt like it was Maine. I don't know. I've never been to Puget Sound. Well, maybe I have.
We were there last week.
Remember, artistic.
We were just there.
I'm on the artistic spectrum. You're not getting this.
I get it. All right, Ed and Lorraine Warren
Oh, God, that's
we
right. We were having a
descend
discussion, weren't we?
to drinking wine and watching Hamilton.
I can't do it. Not on camera, anyways. I don't cry. I don't cry while watching Hamilton. Bawl like a baby is what I do.
Yeah, in terms of the question, ethics or entertainment, they definitely were entertainment, but I feel like they took themselves so seriously. And so there's some paranormal researchers, YouTube paranormal researchers that don't take themselves so seriously, and they really are just out there having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they are really entertainment purposes. I think you did a video on, you called them the kids with the shit on their faces.
The twins.
The twins, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And you
And
nailed it.
yeah, and they're really creative, and they seem like they're
And
having
their editing is really good.
Yeah, they seem like they're having a lot of fun. They do a really good job in terms of cinematic.
I see young people having fun though, and I
Yeah.
cannot stand by it. that will not do. They need to get off my yard.
Yeah,
Get off.
They seem like they're having a great time, and I enjoyed watching the little bit I saw.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't mind people having fun watching this stuff for entertainment purposes. It's again where the issue that I have isn't so much that they're saying, this is real or not real, because we know it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, it's,
Yeah.
we know it, and I know it. It's the fact that if you're doing paranormal investigations, that you can bother everybody around you. You can say bad things about people, living and dead. Like a lot of these paranormal researchers, they're talking about people that are still alive.
Mm.
And they're like, there was one video that I was watching. It wasn't the twins in this case. I'm sure they've done this though, but where they were talking about this person that had been killed. Well, there was no history of this person dying. And it was like 6 years ago.
Mm.
So they're bringing up, they go to Google, they find someone's name, and they start talking about how this person was murdered, but he died a natural death. So like the family members of this person are still alive and around and knew him. And it's just like, why the hell are you saying this?
So it's exactly what I said earlier
Yeah.
about someone with a technology 200 years from now coming back and using our name and our likeness to promote some kind of paranormal thing. And another thing I think
But everybody that would be affected by anything that they would say are gone.
they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still it's like, what the hell?
It's shitty.
It is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're making up lies about me. Like, okay, that's
Oh, in the future. Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, whatever. But another thing I think of too is I know some people have gone paranormal research, and and you're bringing up some thoughts I've never actually thought about before. I saw some paranormal researchers that went to Fukushima,
Yeah.
and that just happened within the last 10 years, where people are still to this day dealing with that grief. And they're
And
going,
that's not a few people. That's a nation
yeah,
dealing with the grief.
and they're going into these places, ghost hunting into these places that, yeah, because they were in there, they were like, oh, look, it's still radioactive, and look,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's a little weird, isn't it?
It's shitty, is what it is.
Yeah, it's like, who was that dickhead that went to the Japanese forest?
Oh,
There's
Paul
somebody,
Logan.
some horrible human that went to the Japanese forest.
Paul Logan.
Yeah, and filmed someone
The
who,
suicides, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
that's horrible. Like, so yeah, so there's like this ethical thing for ghost hunters that that it feels like
They have a shield against being a good human being because we're doing this for paranormal research.
but they're doing it for content, for views, for,
That's my point, yeah.
and that's a weird. But Ed and Lorraine did the same thing though.
Yep.
They did the same thing.
And they were doing it to people that were alive,
still alive.
and talking about them in their lives, that these people were possessed, and they had mental illnesses.
Yeah. Yep.
That they needed help, but instead it's like, well, hey, instead of helping this person and making sure they get the help they need, let's get a priest in and prove to you that no, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need a repossession. Sorry, a exorcism. That you just need an exorcism. And it's like that.
And they took advantage. They took advantage of families.
Yep.
And people, yeah, you're right, that were still alive, and then capitalized on those families, and now are worth millions of dollars.
Yep.
And the Perrin family, I mean, they have a little bit of money, but not as much as the Warrens do, not as much as the Warren estate does, or any of these other families that went through this whatever thing they went through.
Yeah, and I think that's also a big distinction as well. Is so when you talk about that they looked at 100,000 cases. So one, I want to also add that to do that, you would have to look at a case a day without break for 27 years.
I thought you said it was 10,000.
It's 10,000.
10,000.
10,000. Yeah.
Because
So-
someone in the comments is going to be like, you should get your numbers right. I think it was 111 billion.
Yeah.
927.
I mean,
cases.
why not? You know, like just
No,
well,
what the hell?
Yeah,
sure. Sure. Whatever.
Cool. But in all of those, they so in the movies they make this big distinction that, you know, like 99% of everything we look at, we can debunk or, you know, declassify.
And maybe that was like 99,000.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So if you did 99% of it, there's your
There's nothing there.
99,000. So it's only 1,000 that they looked at, which still seems extremely high
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
really high, yeah.
Because the way I was thinking about it was that if you were really busy as a paranormal investigator, or because they didn't really use that term, but someone that was trying to exorcise demons from these people, that, you know, and you get the priest to come in, is that I would figure 300 in your whole, like in 40 years would be a lot of people to deal with. That if you were doing that many investigations where, there we go. Yeah. Do you think that they would have stood the test of time in the era of live streams?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, I think they would.
Yeah.
I think because they captured.
Oh, it's one of my subscribers.
Aw,
Yeah, let's.
they captured the art of storytelling.
Yeah.
They were really good storytelling. And then Ed was an expert bullshitter. So they would have been able to adapt. And because we are who we are, Lorraine could have gone into any house and go, I feel the spirits. And they would have made millions on YouTube.
Well,
Both of them would have made
think
millions.
of Katori, you know, of
Yeah.
Corey and Satori.
But Lorraine did it so much better than they did.
Right.
I think they would have made millions on
Yeah.
YouTube. I think they would have made a lot more money now.
And because with where I think she did so well, Lorraine, is that she never gave specifics that could be
Verified.
verified. Right.
Well, they would have had the addition of newspapers online, so they could have researched a lot before they went in. They would have had their grift, and then they would have gone in, and because Ed could spin such a great tale, they would have been able to go to these homes and really have great editing, and I think they would have killed it.
I think their team their team would have been like, they would have had the best editors and best thumbnail creators. That lady carried herself with a grace that was often yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they would have killed it.
And she also felt creepy too. Every time you see a video of her, she always seems like she is in that other world, that spirit world, that she's always kind of like, so the way she talks, everything.
Well, okay, so I said that, but then I realized what a sex pest Ed was. And
He would have been canceled.
he would have been canceled. So like nowadays we have no tolerance for underage sex.
Yeah.
So I think if any of that would have come out that he was a sex pest, they would have been canceled, and then they would have had to go away, and then they would have figured out a way to come back. So if they could have hid that aspect of him that he liked underage sex, then they could have made it work.
Yeah, but we say that, but that's only when it found. Yeah. But we have that today. It just, when it gets found out, it gets like immediately attacked.
Yeah.
But Lorraine was actively hiding it as well, so she knew who she was married to.
Yeah.
And so they both were hiding it. So if they both were hiding it, and the only person left was the underage girl,
victim.
yeah, then they could have hid that for a lot longer. And because I don't think it came out then.
Yeah.
It came out after like 2017 is when she
came forward.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Ever since she was 15, 40-year relationship with him, like
Jesus
since 15.
Christ.
So
Wow.
so that's 55 when she came out. Like.
And it's so weird how in the movies how they are portrayed as just this loving couple, and I really enjoyed that part. I was kind of sad to find out that that was all bullshit too, because that was one aspect I liked in the Conjuring universe, that that they were like this loving couple that supported each other through their weird ass paranormal shit. You know?
And I saw that and went, man, they're really virtual signaling hard on this. You know, like look how holy we are.
Yeah, and you know they're full of shit.
Yeah. Art Bell. Who is Art Bell? That name sounds familiar.
Art Bell. See, I am the one that should be hosting this.
You are hosting this.
Art Bell is one of the coolest motherfuckers ever. But he probably was a sex pest too. I can't see what they said.
Yeah, they just said, in the era of late night talk radio with Art Bell.
Yeah, so he would have a paranormal UFO. I've played you clips from him every once. So I remember the guy with the hole in the back of his yard, the hole that went forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
one of the best Art Bell stories.
I got it now. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, Coast to Coast Radio.
Coast, yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear all of the Art Bell stuff on all of that's archived.
Yeah.
And it's cool. He had such a beautiful voice, and like sometimes when you were driving, my family used to drive.
Well, we did that for a
cross-country.
while too. You played it for us when we were
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mel in the Hole, a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, me. Was it me in the?
Mel. It's
Mel.
Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He called me at this
I'm
hole.
getting old.
I know, we can't say it's
What do you
too far
mean
away.
getting old?
You are old. Yeah. Coast to coast.
Yeah, that was great. And I remember when you played it, you're like, "Oh, I want to play this for you." And I remember listening to it, going, "What am I listening to?" But it was like, it draws you. It's like, and then after a while, you figure out what this is all about, and then it's like, okay, this is just great. And
Yeah.
and I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Great UFOs. That actually would be a fun thing for your debunker
Ooh,
site, is to go through some of those old
yeah.
coast to coast things and see.
Or having people that have great stories about their experiences and just
Call in and then you shut them down. You bitch slap them. You're like, you're stupid. You're so stupid.
I think I know what you're about to say. Just that. So
Yeah, sorry.
I'm glad you didn't
I gotta
say
tone
it.
it. I gotta tone it down.
I felt it. It emanated. God, I know you too well.
I know.
Yeah. So, well, what else can we talk about? We can talk about Annabelle. Let's talk about Annabelle. I want to talk about Annabelle.
Okay, talk about Annabelle.
So it's all fake. Anyways, we'll go.
And moving on.
See, and that's where I have this issue.
We watched those movies too. We watched the two Annabelle movies.
Yeah, I was more referring to the real Annabelle. Oh, I'm sorry. The real Annabelle.
Wait, how many Annabelles were there?
Well, there was 3. Ooh, haunted objects and are great topics. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're one of my favorites because it's also one of those things that you could never debunk, right? You can't debunk a haunted object. Something comes in your house. Ooh, spooky things happen. I think it's raining outside.
Oh, is that what that sound is?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then when you get rid of it, the haunting goes away.
The rain goes away. It's like really spooky in here because like it's like a really weird sound coming from over there.
So our main the drain pipe goes right here.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know why it does it while it rains, but it's one of the drains for the houses right there. Yeah, but the
Ooh, and that was lightning.
and that was
oh
thunder.
my goodness.
Yeah. It's getting scary in here. But the I think that they should have kept it the Raggedy Ann doll for the movie.
I don't think they could. They wouldn't have had
That's
the
what
rights.
I was going to say that.
Because there's no way. Because Raggedy Ann is still.
Heavily copyrighted.
Yeah. So like
trademark.
They wouldn't have been able to. They couldn't afford that trademark. And I don't think if I was I don't know who owns Raggedy Ann.
I wouldn't have wanted them to
I
use
would
it.
not. I would have been like, no way.
Yeah. The Warrens Museum handed down to Jeff C. and then a recreation of Baggins and then the sounds of it, Cody. And so, yes, before the fire. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Baggins ones Bagginses. The Baggins one I've heard, like, people that go there, they're just like, it's BS. Like, there's no spooky feeling in that place at all.
I really want to go though.
Oh, I'd love to go.
That's a place
Yeah.
I would really like to go.
It's tough to insure those kind of items.
Yeah, yeah.
God, everything goes back to me with Monty Python. It's the where he's going to go work for the guy that does requisitions of like, you know, things, and it's worth more because it has sentimental value to it.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it from the series?
Yeah, it's from the series. So they're trading these objects, and he's like, you know, the I think it's this one. Maybe I'm mixing my genres. I probably am. But there was one that was like it was just like a shoe or something, but because it had sentimental value, it was worth more. It's like, how do you insure that, and how do you sell that? It's like a Raggedy Ann doll. How much is that worth? $50 from.
But if it's haunted, then it's worth. Well, like we started out this live cast talking about how much the Warrens are worth.
Oh yeah.
And the Warrens
Let me
now.
get another drink.
The Warrens.
Hold on, ask Alice. How much are the Warrens worth? The
much-
the estate of the Warrens.
How much do you think the estate is worth right now? Because it's baffling. He's getting more drinks. Wow, it's really raining. I don't know. They might have left. But the estate is worth
It takes a while to.
yeah. The estate is worth $97 million.
97
$97 million. So then how much is their museum worth?
How many times do clips appear of them in the History Channel? Yeah. And I don't know if they actually get money for that.
They should.
But I think the majority of their money comes from tours that they do, as well as the movie rights.
The residuals from the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so like all of that money goes back to the estate. But then how much is that museum worth? And like Baggins would spend a couple $1 million to buy that museum.
And
other paranormal
and you can
people
say what you want about Baggins. I would be cool with that. You know, like if I had a choice of like, I wouldn't like Sam and Cody, I wouldn't sell it to them because they'd probably like, and today we're gonna burn this doll just to see what happens. You know,
but you think Baggins would actually take care of it?
Yeah. Because if anything, like if you see pictures from his museum, everything seems to be curated really well.
Well, so we talked about like Baggins has been highly successful, and not on YouTube or content, just through the Travel Channel. Like he's really successful.
Yeah.
And he is lockstep with Ed Warren. Like he is almost. I think he probably took.
He's the bro dude version of Ed Warren.
Yeah. Because they're so particular on the way that they look, the way that they dress. And that both Ed and Lorraine were very particular on the way they dressed and their image, and so is Zach Baggins.
Yeah. And I think that's also, I think a lot of people try to emulate them through everything they do.
Yeah.
There's a noted difference in the generation's approach to the paranormal. And yes, I agree with that too. Because Lorraine, she was been on like some, like a ghost hunting tour.
She was on a lot of ghost hunting before she died.
Yeah.
She joined a lot of ghosts.
Yeah. From what I saw, there's like 7 things that she did about.
And and by her showing up, it gave them legitimacy. We have a cat?
Yeah. She was hiding from the rain.
Oh, she really hates the
Hey,
rain.
Mia. Oh, you're so scared.
She's our little black. She's terrified of the rain.
She's creeping right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And the way that I look at paranormal research is the same thing with like language and vocabulary, right? It's all the same, like the core of it. But it just changes on how it looks and how it feels, right? So, the old Polaroid picture that shows EMF, which it can't. But that's what
EMF, is that the right word?
Yeah, EMF. Yeah,
Okay.
Electromagnetic frequency. So, EMF is also one of those words. I did a lot of research on the debunking of this. Right, is that when you look at EMF, everything puts out EMF. Literally, everything that we make puts out EMF. Not a chair, but if like this lamp is probably emanating huge amounts of EMF.
What was the cult leader we were researching that could know the origin of the leather and the chair? Oh, it was the Mormon cult leader from Visions of Glory.
Visions of Glory.
That
Yeah.
He knew, so he could read all the EMFs.
So, oh yeah, Hellier series.
We love Hellier.
The kids, yeah.
We love Hellier. We have a weak spot in our heart for Hellier. I don't know.
Yeah, and Sam and Cody. So like
Colby.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sam and Colby.
Yeah. Tim who? So Sam.
Tim Ballard.
So Sam and Colby, they're interesting because, like, our daughter would show us their videos like when they were probably 2,000 subscribers ish in size, and now they're just huge.
No, I think they were in the millions because I think now they're like 9 million.
Wow.
So I think they must have been at 1 or 2 million when she was watching them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So what wild is all these young YouTubers going into haunted forest overnight alone or the haunted buildings? Yeah, but they were doing it before. It just now for like $600 you can do a full 5-angle video with electronics and everything else and do to YouTube and make it look decent. Like, I think the cost of doing it has gone down drastically. Now, not for the electronics that are used in doing the REM pods and the tri-field meters and all that stuff. Those prices have gone way up. And
that's the business we should be in.
Okay. All right. So the sound has improved so much. But yeah. And like the mics and it's also an issue too. So if you ever notice that when they're getting evidence, they don't use anything new for like cameras. They use old because the new stuff won't show the false positives that the old stuff does.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sam and Colby have this microphone, this EVP recorder, right?
It's an old one from the 90s.
Yeah, because it's the only ones you can use. Well, actually, that's not true. The new ones, they're building new ones that do it. But the chipset in it is from the 1980s. So they keep recreating that chipset because that chipset is what matters. It's nothing else about it matters except for one little chip on there. And so they pull out this, I think it was a Canon or something like that. I can't remember, but it was a little, Japanese voice recorder. And at the time it came out, it was considered the worst voice recorder ever made.
Wow.
Because what happens is it has the chip in it, has a detector, and it goes, okay, look for human voice, and I want you to put that human voice at this decibel no matter what. So as you're talking, it's constantly lowering your voice or raising your voice up so that you can be loud or soft, and it gets it so you could be whisper quiet and it sounds the same. So when you don't talk, it bumps up the volume up to max. And it has the chipset in it doesn't take out noise. So if you do this with your hair, you can hear it in the recorder.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. What are these things worth? Like $300-$400? No, $4,000.
Wow.
So those original 80 recorders, like on eBay and Amazon, they're selling for $4,000 each. They came out, they were like $8.
Yeah.
My God, if I could go back in time and just get like 30 of them.
I feel like we have one in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing with EVPs many years. I get less EVPs on the digital recorders versus the old tape recorders. Yep. They are much clearer than the old tapes. Yeah.
So I think that's a business. Like, if we were given business ideas, like somehow figure out a way to get old-timey recordings, like not the modern ones, and recreate that.
Well, that's what they do. So if you go to these stores that sell ghost hunting equipment, there's 10, 12 EVP recorders on there. And when you start looking into it, you realize they're just using the same, like, Samsung or Texas Instrument or whatever chipset. It's probably Samsung chipset that the old recorders used.
Yeah.
So they were like, they got a company to remake them
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, why would we remake these? These are shit.
Yeah. It's what
They're
you
shit
can- you
ICs.
can-
Like,
yeah.
so, yeah, exactly. And it's not to take away from it, but like the other issue too is the audio. There's a term, I'm never going to get this one right, where power of suggestion through audio is massive. So
Audio clairvoyance, like is that what
medium voyance.
medium voyance?
Medium voyance. Oh my god. So Alex, I don't know how much you've kept up with the Conjuring House video. Or we did the one, but Nunez said that she's a medium voyant. So the voices she hears in her head is part of the profession, and it's something that any paranormal investigator should know about.
Oh my god. My god.
And that's how she knew people were stealing from her.
Yeah. Because she heard the voice.
I hear someone. It's a wild circus, isn't it? Yeah. And there was even some new videos that have been released through I can't remember there's one guy that does, he's been keeping up with the drama that's occurred at the Conjuring House. We're recording, buddy. We're actually live. No. In the car, maybe? You left them somewhere. I remember you seeing them.
Don't close. Don't close because the cats will freak out.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Now, I saw that was actually through, it was through a news agency for Rhode Island or something like that. That the Conjuring House was for sale.
Oh yeah, but it was fake. Like
was
it wasn't
fake, yeah.
real. It was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I bet that like made her crazy. I can imagine in her mental state.
The government's gonna take away
Yeah.
my building.
I
Yeah.
bet it's like
yeah.
made her crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? That he's gonna spend more than $9,000 to get the $9,000 from her, which is it's ridiculous.
It is. We used to live in an apartment downtown, and there was this woman who lived next door to us who lost her job, and then
And she was a
because
lawyer.
She was a lawyer, very similar to Nunez, and she lost her job, and then she lost her health insurance, and so she stopped taking her medication, and we saw her descent slowly into madness,
Yeah.
and it was pretty horrific. She would come up to us and tell us that the beings were watching her.
The Watchers, yeah.
And she had people watching her, and they were monitoring every move she made, and finally she was they foreclosed on her place, and she was living on someone's couch, I think. But like we watched that from the time she lost her job all the way till she was foreclosed on, that mental descent that she was going on. And it reminds me of what's happening to Nunez.
Yeah.
Like very similar. You're watching on the internet this mental decline of somebody.
Yeah, and the fact that she's almost like live streaming it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the theories that we kind of had is that she's doing this to bump up the cred of the Conjuring House, and I don't think that that's the issue.
Yeah, I think she's declining mentally. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. It can't. And I agree with that too. If it's for publicity, it's
not.
the worst
It's not good
stunt that I've
publicity.
ever seen.
It's not good. I mean, it will be in 50 years, but right now it's not good.
Yeah, 200 years when someone's summoning the soul of Nunez
Nunez.
and how she was,
Said that Conjuring House made her crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she was murdering people and burying them in the.
We are content.
That's why she has the basement sectioned off.
We are content for people in 200 years. For kids in 200 years.
So they're gonna say that. That's why she has. Because that's where she's burying the bodies.
Burying the bodies.
Oh my gosh.
But Ed and Lorraine.
Oh, that's right.
So
We're
what
having a
is
conversation now.
what is the ethical ramifications? Because we were talking about the ethics around it, and
Yeah.
you were getting pretty heated that it was very unethical what they were doing.
One day the ghost of Nunez will be spotted talking to the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are the ethical ramifications of?
Well, we talked about ghost hunting while people are still alive, and you know how gross that is.
Yeah.
But what
I
did the Warrens harm anyone by their grift?
I think so.
Because I think we pretty much can all agree that they were grifters.
Yeah, I think so. So especially the one child that was being possessed that had mental health issues.
And the devil made me do it.
Yeah. That was massive. Actually, I'm going to minimize that real quick.
But
There
that
we
is such a good story.
It is, but it's also, when does a good story interfere with someone's, personal freedoms and like being taken advantage of? Because it feels very much like what they said is they offered money. Like, if you do what we say, you're going to make a lot of money.
But I don't think that family made a whole lot of money.
No.
I don't.
No. And that's part of the grift.
But okay, so I saw the documentary, and
Mhm.
I don't think you saw the documentary.
Mhm.
There was that one brother that was definitely like, okay, they were taking advantage of him. But the other ones were really still convinced, especially the kid that committed the murder. He was still convinced that he was possessed.
Interesting. Let me read. Ooh, so I can take this out. I think I can flip it out.
We are so old, we cannot see anything. So he's trying to see what you wrote.
Huh? What did you say? Who said that?
You oldie timey person.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that. I don't know if that's any better or not, but at least.
No, I can't. I still can't say that.
Yeah. Oh, I got an idea. This is gonna break everything. I can fix this.
And we're gonna shut it down. Yep.
You know, well, not nice. It is appreciated that you're so mean. Okay, let me go to here and to there, and to there, and to there. There we go. Okay, so I think the Warrens' involvement with Betty and Barney Hill that made me question their motives. Which one is Betty and Barney Hill?
So we'll have to look that up.
Is it Hill House?
I don't know.
I don't know if that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with everything.
Is that the devil made me do it, or is that the folks? I have my glasses on now.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I have a feeling that this is devil made me do it, people, but because Alaska UFO encounter. Who? What? Wait a minute, they did an Alaska UFO encounter too? Well, that's so I know they were involved with vampires.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, this is a story we do not know about, so we will need to
Ooh.
research this because this is cool.
Thank you, Alice, for that. We are definitely
Yeah.
going to look that up.
Okay, so Betty and Barney Hill were a couple that were abducted by extraterrestrials.
Wait a minute. Yes, I think I actually do know about this one. Alice, is this the one where, like, I think these people are still alive, or one of them is, and he returned to the house? I might be confusing too, because there was another Alaska UFO encounter
I
thing
think
that
you're confusing.
never happened.
No, never happened.
I don't confuse anything with anything. Yeah, we'll do research on that. I might do that on one of our.
So I didn't know that the
sessions.
Warrens were involved in UFO. I mean, it makes sense. They would
Yeah.
be because, again, being a grifter is a grifter.
Her niece still owns the dress Betty wore during the abduction.
No, she died in 2004, and he died in 1969.
Yes, we've seen the couple has since passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but why? That is weird that they were involved in that.
Yeah, especially being demonologists, and yeah, you need to look into this one because this looks like a really interesting story.
Well, it's also like, you know, what I was saying. We were watching the video where they were dealing with a guy who was told by a demon that he was a werewolf, and he had him barking on the
Oh my god.
on the audio tape and growling and stuff like that. And I'm like, so the demon didn't say you were one, said you should act like one. It was so weird. But it also it felt like it was much later on in the investigations.
In their crazy years. In
Well,
their crazy time.
well, I don't know if it's in their crazy time, but more of like copycat people. Like they wanted to be part of that celebrity kind of thing.
The Warrens did?
No, people that were like, okay, literally the guy saying that I'm a werewolf and barking in the camera, right?
Okay, so he was trying to
Get into the Warrens world.
get into the Warren universe.
So that he could, yeah.
So he could write about his story.
Right. I don't know a lot of werewolves in spite of living in a French province, but I do know a little about dogmen and the prairies. So are you from Quebec then?
French province.
Isn't that Quebec? Isn't that a French province?
That's Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was a French province.
I don't know.
It's geography. I don't know anything.
There's no.
Currently in Quebec.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. So in the documentary of the boy that the boyfriend that stabbed the landlord,
Yes.
he really still believes that he was possessed. He firmly believes he was still possessed.
And
And he has not stabbed anyone since. So, I mean, he stabbed somebody
oh,
and has not stabbed anyone coming out. He didn't stab anyone when he was in prison. Has not stabbed
I'm
anyone
wondering.
now.
I'm wondering if his landlord just needed stabbing.
Well, the way that they portrayed him in the movie with all those barking dogs and their whole dog thing and
And then the devil coming while he was in jail and
oh, yeah,
with the
was great.
girlfriend there
Yeah, it was
at the
great.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. Good filmmaking. But I think you said they definitely were blackout drunk, and maybe they were using drugs because I don't remember any toxicology report or anything being done. But this was the 80s when, did
Yeah.
they do toxicology reports in the 80s? I don't.
Only probably for the person that was dead, but they don't care about what your state was and what was going on. They just were like, yeah. And of course he's like going on like, yeah, I killed this guy, and we were drinking a little bit. But the idea that I got from the movie was it was like they were listening to rock and roll and drinking.
But
So-
it's satanic panic. It's back to satanic
exactly.
panic.
And that's why when I see that kind of shit, I just like groan. Like I saw that scene and I was just like, this is so stupid. Like it was just so stupid.
But it really happened, though. I mean,
No.
The real story.
Yeah.
The real story. I don't know if they were listening to heavy metal music or what they were listening to.
No,
But
it was rock and roll, not heavy metal, like in the movie. It was just rock and roll. I mean, it was like,
they got blackout drunk.
Yep.
And then he stabbed him, but blackout drunk. But then were they using other drugs on top of it? And so if he never got blackout drunk again, and you said, well, maybe he just won't admit that when he gets drunk he's violent.
right. So yeah, and if he never gets drunk again in his life, blackout drunk, then it'll never happen again. And and I've heard that a lot of times that people that drink that much or they get angry, they talk about, oh, I got the devil in me, kind of thinking. I'm just like, always kind of thought of it being like, you get drunk, you get angry. It's a euphemism to, of what really is occurring, which is you're an angry asshole and your filter got knocked out that day. And then you're seeing the true person behind it. So maybe he has a kind of violent tendency that he doesn't really know about until,
This guy really believes that he was possessed by Satan.
I can only imagine the story on Dateline.
Yeah. I love Dateline.
Was it murder?
Ooh, murder.
No. Oh.
I-
That's not Dateline though, but
no.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Dateline.
Is it
Yeah,
Dateline?
totally. You got it right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm on fire.
He's- But what I was mostly interested in when I was watching the documentary, I wasn't interested in the paranormal aspect. I was interested in the procedural issue,
The legal,
the legal
yeah,
procedural issue,
yeah.
the drama, because they went to court and they said he was possessed by Satan, which is why he stabbed the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And they did bring the Warrens in, but then at what point?
Did they just do it to shut him up? Like just bring him in so they'll stop talking.
No, they tried to present that evidence, but
Yeah.
then the prosecution said, no, this is not real evidence. You can't do this.
Yeah.
But at what point is trying to defend your client? And if the client says I was possessed by Satan, and here's these demonologists trying to testify for me, when should that be allowed, or should it not be allowed? Ultimately, the courts ruled that it should not be allowed, and that defense was not entered in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted.
I'm not at all.
You think it shouldn't be?
No, it should not be. And
But you should be able to defend yourself. Like, if you really believe that you were possessed by
the goat man.
Lego Man, yeah, or Dog Man, or whoever.
No, the goat man with goat bridge. You went to goat bridge. You got goat possessed.
Goat Man. Oh, you're saying goat. I don't understand your accent.
Yeah.
Goat Man is what you're saying. Then you should be able to present that as a legal defense.
Why?
I would think.
How can you prove it?
You can't.
And that's the issue.
That's why you bring in the Warrens, because they're crazy pants.
And how can they prove it?
Well, they had the tapes, right? Because you hear some of those tapes
Sure.
where that little boy's like, "Ah, rah,
And nobody's
rah."
ever faked those tapes before. Like in England, where the
With the
kids were
girls.
being jumped around and possessed and sounding like an old man. And later on, they said, yeah, we totally faked those tapes. They admitted to faking those voices,
Yeah.
which people at the time said, you can't fake those voices. That's real evidence. There you go. And everybody was like, oh my God, they're possessed. And then later on, they're like, we totally made those up.
Yeah,
We've never been possessed.
yeah,
So it's evidence like that, you know?
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious whether Jacqueline will cite her mediumship under oath in court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. So she comes to court, same procedural
Sure.
type thing. She comes to court and says, I was possessed. The spirits told me,
Yep.
but it's
Prove it.
yeah.
You can't. That's the whole point of courts, is you can't just come up there and blah, 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 blah. You can't just say whatever you're feeling someone is.
Don't you think the jury would have enough prescience to know that?
No.
Okay.
No. And that's the reason.
Because we lived through OJ.
Yeah.
I was there. I lived through that.
But that's
I saw that jury.
That's the reason why the lawyers object to everything, is because you just have this lawyer spouting off nonsense that can't be proven. You can't just say this stuff, even if it's true. It could be true, but you can't prove it. So if you can't prove it, you can't say it in court too.
But you should be able to defend yourself. And if you really believe you were possessed by a demon, you should be able to defend yourself with that.
That's fine. And they'll say that, and then the people will be like, okay, you're crazy. Cool. Good on you. No lawyer would basically go, yeah, hey, I think it's time to pull out the you were possessed by a demon defense, because everything else we got is BS. Because how do you prove it? That's it. It's all it comes down to.
I don't know. I ain't a lawyer, but
I want to know. I want to know how you prove it outside of a law.
that you were possessed by a Satan, not Satan. A
Yeah, sure, demon, whatever.
By an
Make up
evil
whatever name you want. Sorry.
dog man.
I think possession has occurred. Okay.
Really?
Yes. I think it's probably occurred 3 times in all of human history.
Possession? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. I don't think it's like the way.
You believe in evil? You believe in spirits, like extraterrestrial
No.
spirits?
No.
So what were they possessed by?
Their own shit that's in their head.
But that happens all the time. That's called
Exactly.
That's called schizophrenia. That's
Well, that's true too. But is that really possession? Devil's advocate would be the mediums that solve cold cases. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
But that's what it comes down to. That's if you are possessed, then you should be able to know information that nobody else does.
Okay, but what do people say? A clock is right 2 times a day. So those mediums, I mean, there's 8 billion people, there's 8 billion humans
Right.
on Earth, right? Eventually, one medium is going to get one thing right at one
And they
point.
do. And they do. Like the mediums that come and solve like kidnapped victims and stuff like that. And they're like, oh my God, he was in a red car. Yeah, but what about the other 9,000 times that she said it was a blue car and a yellow car, and it was O.J. Simpson that kidnapped the girl, like all this, BS stuff that they've said.
It could be that the
That
mediums,
doesn't mean the medium's right.
but it could be that the medium is really good at looking at evidence and they miss their calling. Like is really good at looking at.
See, now I think you're thinking about that movie with Cyndi Lauper and
Cyndi Lauper. Wow. Yeah. Keep going.
I can't remember the other guys because you interrupted me.
Jeff Goldblum.
Come on, yeah. See, but you don't know what I'm talking about.
Wow. You're going old school here.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that movie actually. Was it rated R?
I don't know.
Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum solving a murder.
No. So they're both psychics and mediums. So she's a medium, I believe, and she has a spirit that tells her things, right? And can also possess her to assist. He knows the story and origin of anything he touches.
Oh, he's like
the guy,
the Mormon the Mormon prophet
Spencer.
Spencer, yeah.
He's Spencer. Yeah. Which is probably where they got the idea from.
That was that's probably where the Mormon got the idea from.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And at a government level, I guess it would be more like the men who stare at ghosts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But like so they used them because they were trying to like unlock this thing, and they could only do it through someone that was possessed or something. It was the story of it was BS, but his whole thing was that he could just touch something and know where it was.
Oh, that's so weird. I had no idea that was a movie.
Yeah.
And
but you knew it was Jeff Goldblum.
I knew it was Jeff Goldblum.
That's why I was like, wait, where'd you get that from?
I've never seen that movie, but I can see Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum together. I can see them together. So, but I've never seen this movie.
Okay, we're watching that movie.
Yeah, we need to see
I'm just letting you know, it's horrible.
No, I bet.
It's got funny moments though.
But that's so interesting how that idea, and then that Mormon, took that idea and wrote that whole stupid book about it.
Yeah, and so there's actually like one of the great scenes is like if you think about like SNL did this about the guy that could foresee the future, but only a quarter second into a quarter second of the future. So he was like, "Oh, I saw that coming. Crap! Wait, I saw that too." He's always missing it.
That's a terrible superpower.
Yeah. But the idea of like touching something too is like kind of a like he would help with like murder victims and stuff like that. But he could see the crime, so it traumatized him. But so people at his office would make him touch their sandwiches to see if the guy washed his hands before making their bologna sandwich.
That sounds like a cute movie. And Cyndi Lauper, she's
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper. That sounds fun.
Yeah. It's a. We'll watch it.
Okay.
We'll watch it.
What's the movie called?
I don't remember. I really don't remember. It was a good movie though. But yeah, it's like if you think about like all we know that our government, Russia, all these governments have tried, they have spent probably hundreds of millions of dollars trying to empower clairvoyance and mediums.
And what they learned
is that it doesn't work.
No, but what they learned is how to control people.
Yes.
Through all of that,
MK
men
Ultra.
who stare at goats, they learned the secret. They learned the secret passcode to unlock any human brain.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter who you are, they can unlock your brain.
Yep. And mine are those butter things that we got from Aldi. The little butter the crack.
Yeah.
thing. That's
That's how you. That's the
you just
passcode to unlock your brain.
Yeah,
No,
I'll do anything for those things.
you'll give up any government secrets for those butter bars.
The Montauk Project, yeah,
Yeah.
was along those lines
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they learned. They learned how to crack, how to turn people, how to, like, you know.
Yeah,
I
what they
don't even know.
realize is that people are animals, and we're pack animals, and it actually this comes back around to the Warrens, is that what they're using are the same techniques that people in advertising, marketing, governments, everybody does, which is how can I control the situation for my benefit? And that's why,
Wow, I have not thought about that. Like, that is what Ed was good at.
yeah,
And Lorraine was just there to back him up. Interesting.
I think
He's
that
just
if
a
it was
mentalist.
just Ed, nothing would have happened, and she would have never have done it on her own.
Yeah.
So let's just assume she has the power of second sight.
Yeah.
Which I think of Second Sight Detective Agency, with
Keep going. Just
that guy and the guy.
she has the power of second sight.
Yeah, and that she's gonna just help people in her little close knit community sort of thing, and let's just also assume too that if she has that power, Ed would have been just like, I got an idea. Let's do this. And if she was psychic, looked at him and went, I'll marry you because you're supportive, but man, you are a messed up man. Because if she had that power, she would have known that he was a sex pest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So where his thing came in, because he was a World War II vet. Like he served in World War II. So he was part of the military, and then he was a sign painter as well. So he didn't have any real special skills with marketing,
But he
and
was
all
a
this other
bullshit
stuff.
artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the interesting thing, because I can't figure out quite exactly where he got those abilities, unless he just started studying, or he might have or just accidentally kind of slipped into it.
But
like,
he
just had that brain to do it.
When you hear him speak, he speaks with absolute authority, and that's one of the keys. That's a key to unlocking the human brain, is that speaking with authority and getting people to feel. And by her capitalizing on people who had passed, she was pulling in the emotional aspect for people.
Yes.
So he's got the authority.
And she was dressed like your mom, God, that sounds like a diss.
Like
she's just
my
like
mom.
She's just like your mom, your mama. But she's dressed in a very matriarchal kind of look.
And she was capitalizing on the emotions of people. So he comes in with this authority, and she's coming in with this emotion. And then that's that key to unlock the human brain, to get people to do and believe whatever bullshit that you're feeding them.
And then during the, satanic panic.
And at the right time, during the satanic panic. And there was no way to verify the bullshit that they were feeding at the time.
Well, then just use Google. I don't understand.
I got nothing for you. So they were the right people at the right time. But they would have adapted to this world. They absolutely would have adapted.
Yeah, because now I think it's easier to find information, and it goes both ways, right? So not only would, like, now you can get, you can find out if someone's like bullshitting you pretty quickly, but you can also get hyper focused on a specific location.
And that's what the
Satori does, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Satori was doing. They were Googling, finding the information, and then doing it.
Yep.
And that's how their grift was working. So,
yeah.
And that's what Ed and Lorraine would have done with their grift now. Yeah,
because like one of the things that they brought up was, speaking of Katori, was like, I'm getting this person who was shot, and I'm feeling them coming from this way, and and then they took him like literally to the exact spot that the person had died, and this was within like 10 years. So like, again, his family is like sitting there like, what the hell?
Yeah.
you know.
Not cool.
And it's like, oh, well, where did you get that from? I don't know. Maybe Google where you actually had the picture of like where the guy was, you know, on the street dead at that exact place. You knew it was there. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that makes all the other ghost hunters look bad. Like, and like you can do an investigation without bringing that kind of bullshit up.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were living in a place in downtown Atlanta, and we realized that we actually were living a few yards away from one of the child murders happened. Like literally right there. And we didn't know that
Until
all the time we lived
10
there.
years after we left.
And we're like, oh my God, that was right where we, like literally we were living right there. And we never felt anything or.
Yeah.
We also lived in no, we didn't live in an abattoir. The abattoir was next door.
Right. We lived in the meat processing
We lived in
place.
the meat processing place.
Where they would hang up where they would smoke the meat.
Yeah.
So we lived in the smokehouse, basically.
We lived in the smokehouse. The abattoir was there. And everyone around us kept saying it was haunted. Did you think that was haunted, that building?
The only thing that haunted us was the roof leak.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that haunted us.
And our crazy neighbor.
And they also said too that the person that was in that place literally went crazy because of the roof leak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, like nothing at all. And that's why I kind of go.
Yeah, there was one guy that said he kept seeing some Civil War person walk back and forth in the building.
Sure.
Again, I never saw anything.
We don't know what our neighbors were into. They could have been cosplaying as Civil War characters.
That would have been funny.
We had a few couples that you're like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, yeah. Best building ever. I miss that
I
building.
miss that building too, actually.
That was like our Tales of the City building.
All right, so what else is there? Because so we've got Annabelle, which the thing I wanted to talk about Annabelle was the fact that it was the almost exact story from a Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it was about a girl that had
Can you pass me the wine?
a doll that would come to life and talk to the dad and
And the doll was it named Annabelle?
No, the girl was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the girl that owned the doll, her name was Annabelle. And so because the doll was coming to life and saying, your mom's in hell, kind of it's like
Your mom's sex crack in hell.
because of that, he was like, well, that's it. We're getting rid of the doll. And he got rid of the doll, and then the doll returns and then starts,
Okay, but
fucking his shit up.
don't you think the Twilight Zone was based on folklore? So I think probably other people might have had that happen too.
Yeah. And I agree with that too, that there are some places like Stonehenge. There's nothing there. But we went to the other place, the other place that had the altar.
Yeah, we were in this weird place in Scotland that was that's
Powerful.
That was the only place I ever felt really anything was another henge in Scotland that no one really ever went to, but Stonehenge was
dead.
That was dead. I didn't feel anything there.
Which was weird.
It's a bunch of tourists.
Because when you sat on the rock, you were walking around, and I stood up on this rock, and I was getting yelled at. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was getting shamed for being there. And I'm just like, oh, come here, stand here. And then you stood there and you're like, oh, it's so nice and peaceful. I'm like, yeah. The woman of the house don't want me on this spot. She's treating you nice. She's yelling at me to get off her damn rock.
Yeah.
I think that was our only mutual. Oh, no, two.
There was another place in Scotland where.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was an old place in Scotland where we went in, and it was you had this feeling of someone just wanted you to stay and have tea with them.
Yes.
And then there was this other place.
So inviting.
Yeah, it was great. And then there was this other place in Scotland we went to where you went in there and it felt like someone was screaming at you to get out. Get out,
You're you just walk in and be like, Nope.
I'm out of here. That's really the only time I really felt.
That's not true.
What other time I felt?
The little Lolita hotel that we stopped in when we were going across country.
Oh my God, that's right. Okay, this Panguitch, Utah, which is near Moab, Utah, and we were staying in these shitty, what we called Lolita hotels.
We were doing it on purpose.
Yeah. And that hotel scared the shit out of me. Scared this, like, even now I get scared.
Yeah.
I get
Like
scared.
my back
Hotel was so freaking scary. And then it was one of the, like,
it was in it was a Patel hotel.
a Patel hotel. And we said, "Hey, did someone die in this room?" And he got all scared too.
He was like, "I don't. What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean?" So here was the weird part about that, is that like the bathroom, you didn't want to be in the bathroom, and it was something
So
really
scary.
like I talk about it and I get shivers up my I'm getting shivers just kind of talking about it now.
That place is really scary.
And there are times that I'll feel something but freaked him out. Like big time freaked him out.
We scared the hell
We
out
scared
of him.
him. Yeah. And so like I was, it's just a standard room. Like you think of like the hotels from like the 60s and 70s kind of thing, where you drive up and then you walk into your room kind of thing. And so I think there's 2 beds in this place, and we were watching Ren and Stimpy. I remember this really well because, like, I was flipping through, I saw Ren and Stimpy, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't think you've seen this. We need to watch this. And it was like, so, I slept the lights on, and so I was sitting on the bed, and I kept looking up and looking at the bathroom, and every time I'd look in the bathroom, specifically, there was like almost like a spot, like hanging from the shower curtain kind of thing. And every time I'd look up, my skin would crawl.
Okay, so now I bet you it was just a carbon monoxide. I bet you it was just like a...
But why that one spot in the one room? Because what I said to you was, is this place creepy to you? And you're like, yes. Like, and then I was like, okay, if you had to pick a spot, like, where does it feel the creepiest? And you pointed right to that bathroom. You pointed right. And then we were like, okay, show me in this room. Show me. And you were like, right there. And it was me and you had to pinpoint it, the same exact
This
spot.
is like 23 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a long
But I
time ago.
remember it. Like,
No, I know.
Like, really well.
So, yeah, I guess I have experienced stuff because I remember that. That was really scary.
But
we've stayed at haunted hotels across the nation.
And that's what I mean, right? I don't discount these things can occur. What I discount is that they occur everywhere.
Yeah, so we've stayed in the classic haunted hotels across the country. Nothing.
The Stanley, the Crescent.
Yeah, but in some shitty hotel in Panguitch, Utah was the scariest place we've ever stayed at.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. It's probably torn down by now. The other scariest place was when we were, I don't know if you remember this or not, when we were in Scotland, and remember we were traveling there out of season, so it was the off-season thing, and they didn't have hot water. Mm-hmm. That was the scariest.
That's just because Scotland is third world country.
Haunted malls and stores are a hoot. Yeah.
We have a haunted mall here. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, but where they filmed all the mall scenes is from here in the Metro Atlanta area, and that mall is really scary. It's like the back rooms. Is that what the kids call it?
Was that the
these
Gwinnett
days?
Mall?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gwinnett Mall.
Gwinnett
And
Place Mall.
we're closer to that than not close to that. We're way too close to that place.
Right where they filmed the Stranger Things. It's completely empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real place, and it's really scary. It's an empty mall, and people break into there. In fact, they found a dead body in there recently that had been there for all.
Oh wow.
Yeah, someone had gone in there, used drugs, and died. And
Yeah.
Yep, it's a real place.
What's cool is there's this place in Atlanta called the Pullman Yards, and they did the whole Stranger Things experience, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you left to the mall, not that mall, but like, a recreation of the mall. And it was all staffed by kids that were wearing the same outfit and actors. Sorry,
Yeah.
actors who were
Yeah.
actors
Super
who
cute.
serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just a really fun experience.
Yeah.
I really liked that one too. But yeah, that was okay. If it was at the
Gwinnett Place.
no,
That would have been really scary. That's a really scary because it's where they found the other cult dead body was like right there. Because
which one is that?
So Jeju Spa
Oh,
is like right
right,
near that
right.
empty Gwinnett Place mall.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Lots of scary stuff has happened over there.
Yeah. So there's also a Korean death cult that a South Korean death cult that is in our area too, and they found a dead body at the spa where you go.
Yep. Like right near the mall where they play. They
Yeah,
filmed
I keep
the
forgetting
Stranger
that
Things.
it's over
right there.
Yeah, I think that's where I went to go get my COVID shot was over there too. That was Gwinnett Mall.
Yeah, because they opened it up for the. Were you scared when you went in there? Was it like backroom scary?
No, because there's like 4,000 people, getting their shot done. So no, it was a Sears too. Like, how scary is Sears?
Pretty scary. Sears is pretty scary. Are there any Sears? Does Sears still exist?
I don't even know.
I don't think they exist
Don't
anymore.
even know. So the Warrens.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Our one person who's chatting with us, we're like completely off talking about Stranger Things and shit.
Yeah, and please don't look at this as being typical American behavior.
We are typical Americans. I don't know.
I said don't look at us like that.
We're typical old Americans.
Yeah, we are old. Yeah. Well, what else? Anything else you want to discuss about the Warrens, or what about you, Alice? What are your thoughts on the Warrens? What do you think about them? Does what they have added to the ghost hunting community outweigh anything that they would have done? And that's kind of the thing. Activity with no physical form or no activity except for a full body apparition, which is easier to handle.
I've never seen any apparitions.
I've
ever.
seen both. So,
And I think all those paranormal things that I've experienced were psychosomatic, I think.
strokes.
Yeah, mini strokes. So now talking about what happened in that hotel, I think that was really scary. And I think it probably was just a carbon monoxide leak.
It could have, but I didn't feel it afterwards. And carbon monoxide does not leave your body quickly. It takes a long time. So it could have been. It could have been the year of the gas leak.
Could have been the year of the gas leak.
I do not know.
Because this was 23 years ago, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't have been traveling with a carbon monoxide detector. But
Or even thought about it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's just not something we were thinking about. But coming back to this activity with no physical form. Okay, so I'm assuming what that means is like something moving on the table. No, that never bothers me. Back in basic, about 20 and I witnessed a dude in our building that was out of place 3 evenings in a row. Oh, that's cool.
do you think that was caused by the stress that you were going through?
Yeah, usually at that point you're not going through too much stress.
In
Maybe
basic?
lack of sleep.
In basic, that seems like a lot of stress.
It depends. So how far back was basic? Because basic has changed in the past 15 years.
So
Oh,
you're-
wow. That's cool. We watched him push open a steel fire door 2 inches and then walk through the door.
Wow.
2005? Yeah. That could be lack of sleep.
Do you feel,
Probably not, though. I mean, everybody saw it, too.
Alice feels it's like you really felt you saw something paranormal there?
Mm-hmm.
And you really feel you saw something paranormal. Now, when he saw,
Yeah.
when Carl says this, he's from one of the most haunted cities in
In
the
the world.
United States. So you saw some figure, and this is in Savannah, Georgia.
See, that's the thing, though. I was in Pooler, Georgia.
But you're a suburb of Savannah, Georgia.
The ring of fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
yeah, okay.
Savannah, Georgia, being one of the most haunted cities in the United States. We know that. It's like top 5, right?
Sure.
Savannah, St. Augustine.
You gotta remember though, I
Salem.
lived all over. I lived in like
But you saw this
haunted row basically, and didn't see shit. So.
But you saw this in Savannah, Georgia.
Mm-hmm. We had talked to this at several occasions. People saw the same person, and he looked totally real until he walked through walls and doors. See, that's cool. See, I love that shit.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't discount it. I discount every EVP, every buzz on a REM pod as being paranormal activity.
Okay, but
And people going,
I'm just gonna
say it.
I'm just gonna say it. You got a bunch of young dudes that are all hopped up on lack of sleep, testosterone. They just left their families. They're in basic.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're going the other way. I thought you were going to defend the ghost hunters.
No.
For overreacting to REM pods and shit like that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like the power of suggestion
It's
among
huge.
all these young, impressionable people.
That's cool too. When the activity interfered with daily chores. Oh my God, they just used that as an excuse to get out of their chores.
See? Like, how good is that?
Alice, I am joking with you on that one.
But the power of just like, you all are under so much stress. There's a whole group of you. You all are fueled with testosterone.
Yep.
You're saying, I saw this, and another person said, it's like a whole bunch of teenage girls together seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Which is what happened to me when I was a teenage girl. We were in the middle of the forest, and these teenage girls.
Or the kids that saw the UFO come from the sky. The whole school that were out playing saw the UFO
in
come
South
from
Africa,
the sky.
Yeah, which is a cool story. That's another cool story.
And then the one kid that said the first one that said it was later like, no, I never saw anything. These people were out of their mind.
So could it be the power of suggestion and the time?
When it comes to this stuff, right? When it's personal, and you're not.
I'm not trying to discount you.
Yes, she is.
No, sorry. Because
she thinks you're full of it.
I'm a 100% believer. I believe you. I absolutely believe you.
Yeah, but this is the redacted debunker, so we have to kind of look at this information. When I dug in deep, it only occurs in November, and he's fooled many, including staff, into thinking he's solid. See, I just love that. See that makes me. It's these stories here that I love. It also only occurs on 2 floors. Let me guess, the 2 lazy floors. The 3rd floor, they're the hard workers. They get shit done.
What is the way to get out of basic? That is so great. I saw a ghost. Sorry, can't.
That wouldn't get you out of basic. So Alice, I was a military brat. So I grew up in Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah. When I say grew up on it, I wasn't an on base brat, but my dad was Air National Guard, so we were on Hunter and Travis Field, and so that was my life, was hanging out with.
I didn't realize your dad was National Guard, like Walls.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, so that's what you knew.
That's why I knew everything about
exactly
what he was
Walls.
saying, and everything he said was exactly right. I did my best. Yeah, during basic. God, that's so cool. See, I love it. Like, and it would be cool to hear it back too, and if it makes sense to the situation, yeah, it definitely could be something. But whenever it just goes, and someone says, "Oh, they were
swallow your soul and suck your dick." That's just wishful thinking.
It's just you're hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But like I remember going out to like the the hangars, where they had the C5s, the C-130s, stuff like that, and you would get into certain areas and they'd just be so creepy. But it was like I think as a kid it was creepy because of like how immense everything was. Like you were in this super large building that echoed and it had that oily smell. And I think you know what I'm talking about if you've ever dealt with the machinery. It's got a what I call battleship smell.
And
So
you stayed on a battleship, right? Like
yeah, I slept on a aircraft carrier.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So my whole life was around like military centric. Okay, a best EVP I got was under the bed of a French recruit. And
No, that's mine.
And
Best day of my life was when the French Navy landed in San Francisco. Best fucking day of my life. Sorry.
and he didn't know what it was saying because the EVP was in English. It freaked him a little because he didn't want the translation.
What was the translation?
Yeah, what was said? I need to know, Alice. And also, what branch were you with under in in Canada?
Do you know anything about the Canadian military?
A little bit. So you went to Pray Not Child. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, that is good.
That's a really
That
good
is
one.
really good.
What was your answer? No. SIGOP. Purple Trade. Okay. SIGOP.
I don't know anything about Canadian military.
It's like Signal Corps? So, okay, I'm going to go on. This is like not a lot of knowledge, but was that like military intelligence or counterintelligence? Yep.
This is smart.
Is.
Oh.
I think it's yeah. I think it's military intelligence. You know what they call in the military a oxymoron, military intelligence. Hey, the guy that told me that joke was in military intelligence. So. I don't know what the purple trade is though. Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
That is cool. That's actually really cool. Yeah. So.
Is it weird for an American to say to a Canadian, "Thank you for your service"?
No.
I don't know.
No, they never tried to invade us. But the second they do.
Can you imagine? This is what Trump calls the iron. What is the iron?
Lineman is lucky he gets to squat with us. Yeah. What are you saying?
The Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome. God. Jesus Christ.
To protect us from Canada.
Yeah, because that's
Iron
it. Canada and Mexico. You know, when Canada and Mexico
So we need an Iron Dome.
starts.
Sorry. We're getting into politics.
Yeah.
And light fluctuations. It's just because of our air conditioner.
I think so. And this light is really, really old, too. Where did we see this? Oh, Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis has one of those.
All right, I think we're wrapping up.
I think so, too. Alice, well, thank you so much for
chatting with us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have some good videos coming out soon. I think also we're going to try to do this as a regular thing so we can talk about kind of ghosts and debunkings and all that.
I think you should go live with some of the UFO stuff and research the UFO.
And Bigfoot. We could do all the cryptids as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And have a great Saturday and the rest of your Saturday. And hopefully we'll see you next
Cheers.
Friday or Saturday. We're not sure yet, but hopefully we'll make this into a thing.
Yep.
All right. Thanks a lot. Oh, I forgot I can do this. I can go ending. Right? Ending. Boop. Ha-ha. Mute. Did that work? It didn't work. So the mute thing's not working.